Hello, welcome to September's Devlog. I'm making a game about being part of a medieval community with procedurally generated quests, stories, and villages. For the next couple of weeks, my objective is to increase the total number of villages whilst making them distinguishable from each other. The hard part in this is not increasing a number from 4 to 20 or 100, but rather the fact that 100 villages puts 25 times more strain on the system. This accelerates various interesting problems. First of all, I noticed that everyone is obsessed with the vegetation on the edges of the map, so I fixed this. Then I was strolling around the map when I stumbled upon this.
A dandelion! Must be the last one of the season!
It looks like when two villagers try to gather the same resource at once, they just become infinitely stuck in this conflict of who should get it. So I added a little mechanic that when a villager selecting a resource busies that resource, and then villagers only pick available ones together. When I made the move to town square action more important so there's more villagers always around, I immediately noticed that these guys just totally trip over each other trying to escape to do anything else. So I went with a generic solution. Basically, if the villager has not moved for at least 3 seconds or so, they will just give up on their action. So the final issue I noticed is that villagers over time just space out. After some investigating and initial hunch, I found that the culprit was how I was handling the communication between two of the game servers. If there are too many messages being sent at once, it would actually skip some. Finding the right way to fix this was amazing though, because I didn't previously know how to do this, and this eliminated all the random glitches in villages I had observed before, and as a side effect, the AI run much faster now. Here's everything fixed, and 50 villages. Now there's 2 more things left. I need to make these little fellas distinguishable from each other, and stress test how many the game can handle. But first, let's take a little break from this feature. Since there's so many villagers doing things, some new and unique content would also help differentiate their actions. I've always wanted to add instruments, so here's the loot. I want to add all the other instruments from the Middle Ages, but I wasn't able to find any existing animations or low poly models, so I thought I'd save that for another time. Perhaps another devlog. On a side note, I also spent some time drawing up the thumbnail before releasing my latest video. Speaking of which, some feedback from the playtest suggested a run button may be useful.
Is there a way to sprint?
Damn it, this game needs a run button.
After a lot of running around, I went with a 1.65 times speed multiplier. 2 or 3 times kinda seemed a bit.
I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you.
Some other feedback also suggested that rotating the camera might be useful.
Can I rotate the camera? Oh, fixed camera angle. Risky, Tom. Risky.
I can't see. You need a camera rotate, man.
To keep it simple, I'll just start with being able to rotate the camera sideways. Rotating the camera, fluid controls, thumbsticks, controller support. Controller support! Ah yes, controller support. So after I quickly added some new input methods for movement, I then added the camera controls. I then realized I had to make sure that if the player pressed to move forward, he would actually move forward in the direction of the camera. Alright, let me just work out how to do this. Should be some quick maths. Works like a charm. Excellent. I also ordered a new laptop. I thought it might be more fun to develop my game when it runs, higher than 8 FPS. Also, portability. want to eventually procedurally generate the character meshes, but that seems quite complicated, so for now, I went with just changing the base texture to alter the clothes and skin color. This should give up to 72 different villager variations. With all of these new fixes and new laptop, you may be wondering, just how many villagers could the game handle? Finally kinda struggled to keep up pace on 1000, but this is okay because the current plan is not to have more than about 100 villagers in a game at once, so I definitely consider this a success. But let me know how many villagers would be ideal for you in the comments. There are also some interesting changes I didn't get to explain, but there is one last thing I'd like to show. A village can't survive with vegetation alone, so I placed these mountains to the west of the village. They contain stone, iron, copper and tin. Thanks for watching. For weekly updates, you can follow the subreddit or Twitter. If you want to support the game or channel, check out some of my art. The next devlog will be about introducing villagers to the night, so stay tuned.